Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing the ultimate guide to the 2025 Vancouver International Wine Festival International Tastings. So this is one of the largest and oldest wine festivals in the world. And for 3 nights and 3 afternoons on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that's February 28th, 29th, and then March 1st, there's these tastings. There's over 100 wineries that present, and there's also food stations and sake. It's a wonderful place to learn. So it can be a little bit daunting for beginners. And so I produce a guide every year, and this is my ultimate guide. I hope that people outside Vancouver will also kind of get some information. The information I'm giving you is basically also to deal with any gala or any tasting that you go to around the world, how to prepare for these things. Want to firstly give a shout out to all my viewers and subscribers, and also particularly my readers at the Richmond News. I've produced this for many years just for my personal use, and now I have a forum both with my column in the Richmond News and with this YouTube channel to be heard and seen, and it's so important. And kind of one of the messages I want to get across is it's really neat, heartwarming when I produce something like this and people really enjoy it or use it. Little things that you do in your life actually mean a lot to people, and you don't really, I've seen that in my life, you don't really see sometimes the effect just that little compliment or that little extra word has. People leave me comments and they don't know how much it really means to me. It really is just a simple thing. Hey, really enjoy your channel, stuff like that. That means a lot to me, and it really is gratifying. I put a lot of work into at least the research on this, and when people appreciate it, I'm really thrilled. In any wine festival, you know, I'm cognizant that it is a lot of money. I think you pay $129 or up to $139 depending on the night here. That's a lot of money for someone. And if it's 2 people, it's almost like $250. Then you have to eat. It's a really expensive night. So just like when you open a really expensive bottle, you want to get as much knowledge as you can before you open the bottle. Likewise, when I go to these type of festivals, I try and get as much information as I can to make it more as worthwhile as I can. The International Wine Festival, one of the things is that they do publish the guide, which I have here and which I'll put in the comment section, the link to it. You can actually study that guide before you go to the wine festival. Probably that happens in hopefully most other wine festivals, so you can prepare as much as you can. And this is the same advice I give to people when they go to really high-end restaurants. Normally the wine list is, or at least a representative wine list is on their website. Go through that. It's much easier in the comfort of your home when you have the time and you're not kind of limited time to pick out a nice wine, as compared to just going to a restaurant and they give you like a huge volume of book and you're expected to pick a wine within 3 minutes. It's really tough. So preparation is very key. So the other thing is, I think, is that, you know, there's in the Vancouver International Wine Festival, there's gonna be like 120 booths, like 300-400 wines. There's no possible way that you can go through all of these, and you have to be reasonable at what you do. So you do need a game plan, and my game plan is going to be really to start off with the champagnes, and then go to white wines, maybe take a little break, do a section of the BC wines, then maybe go to sake, and then go to some red wines. That's a plan, and I've kind of studied this guide and kind of how to do that without jumping back and forth to different groups, and I'm trying to give you kind of a sense of that. So for those people who are actually going to the International Wine Festival, if you want to send me an email at trophywineHunter@gmail.com, the night before you go to the event, I'm not sure I can do it like an hour before you go, but if you send me an email, I will send you my guide in terms of I highlight all the wines that I find interesting or that you should try, and I also give you a kind of an order of how to kind of navigate the room. So I'm going to go through this and just hopefully this is useful for people even if you're not going in Vancouver, with any wine festival, you have to have a plan. And so my plan after viewing this is that, and I'm going to go to wineries or booths where there's going to be multiple good wines or interesting wines for me to taste. So I've kind of looked at the whole list of wines and done some research, and it kind of differentiates. I kind of break it up into wines that I really, really want to try, that are really important to try, the best wines of the festival, which I highlight in pink on my guide. Then I highlight some yellow, some interesting wines that, hey, if I have the time, I'm at the table, and if I'm around there, yeah, I'll try and taste it also. These are kind of wines that have of interest. And then I've kind of highlighted or circled some wineries that, hey, I don't really know that much about. If I have time, maybe I should pop over. And that gives you a number of options. So if you are following the guide, and again, you'll understand more if you have the guide in front of you. I would start at booth number 19. This is Gloria Ferre, which is a Sonoma County producer of sparkling wine. And that's where I would start the day, with a little bit of sparkling wine. And so they have their Royal Cuvée 2014, which is 91 points Wine Spectator, but they're also serving their Sonoma Brut, their Blanc de Blanc, and their Blanc de Noir. So it gives you a really nice introduction into the different types of champagne. Then I would jump over to a very interesting winery, which I circled as a winery that I might want to spend a little bit more time with, that I kind of don't know very well. It's called Lang Twins Family Winery, out of the Lodi region in California. And they have a very interesting wine, which is their 2023 Chenin Blanc from Merrill Vineyards. It's 90 points Wine Spectator. But the interesting thing is, again, Chenin Blanc is not really a grape varietal I would associate with California. So that's interesting for me. They've got a couple of other interesting wines at their table, and I probably will spend a little time kind of getting to know their winery. Just right near them is also booth number 27 is McPrice Myers out of Paso Robles, and they've got some really interesting wines. In particular, their Beautiful Earth Paso Robles, their white blend and their red blend. It's kind of an interesting blend. It's not your regular Cabernet Sauvignon blend. And they've got some interesting names of wines called like Bull by the Horns, Paso Robles, Cabernet Sauvignon. So again, the other kind of thing that I want to kind of point out is this year the theme is US wines. And so you want to actually, whatever the theme, you want to kind of go to wineries that are not normally that you see in the marketplace. So Lang Twins and McPrice Myers, I don't believe are wineries that are kind of in the market very much. And so they're kind of interesting, get a shot to taste them. That's the whole idea. You probably don't want to go to wines that you see every day. I forgot that actually there's also a very interesting wine on booth number 18, right after Gloria Ferre. You should probably go to this booth first, which is right next to it. It's Frank Family, another winery that I'm not very familiar with from Napa Valley. And they've got a very interesting Chardonnay, the 2022 Carneros Chardonnay, which is 92 points, Wine Spectator. They've also got a Zinfandel, which is over 90 points. And a Pinot Noir and Cabernet Sauvignon. So that kind of starts off the night pretty nicely because you've got some champagne, you've got some white wines, a little bit of red if you want to try it. And these are all very close together. Now that you've done some sparkling and red wines, you've got your palate kind of warmed up to tasting wines. Now we go to booths number 31, 32, which are really spectacular wineries. One is Ridge Vineyards. And one of the things that I look at, you might have some great vineyards or wineries there, but you also have to look at the selection that they provide. Ridge is an excellent winery, but they're also serving spectacular wines. All their wines are really good on their table. They have their Estate Chardonnay 2021, and I think all of these are either 89 points or above. A lot of them in a 93-point wine range in Wine Spectator. Their Estate Chardonnay 2021. Then they have their Lytton Springs 2021 Red. They have their Three Valleys Zinfandel 2022. They have a Geyserville Zinfandel 2021. And then they have their Estate Cabernet 2021. So what I like about this table, it's got red and white. It's got Zinfandel, Cabernet. It's got different vintages. It's got a lot of variety. I love that in terms of, one table, you can get a real sense of the winery. I think they've chosen very nice wines, and so I really like that. The next table right next to it is Robert Mondavi. A whole video on that, which I'll put at the end of this video, and had an interview with Curtis Ogasawa, who is their director of winemaking. So you can, I really got to know those wines, and they're serving some spectacular wines. In particular, their Fumé Blanc 2021, their Estates, which is kind of their mid-range level winers, and then their Estates Cabernet Sauvignon 2021, which has some Tocolon new vines in there. There's also their Sauvignon Blanc, their Chardonnay, and their regular Cabernet Sauvignon. So I like the variety. They've got their Sauvignon Blanc, and you can compare it to their Fumé Blanc. They've got a Chardonnay, so they've got nice white wines. They've got some red wines. They've got their kind of more entry-level Cabernet Sauvignon, and then their Estates, which is their mid-range. So I really like the variety of that table. Currently, the Canada and US has a bit of an issue politically. To me, that should not really affect your experience. I know the theme of this year's festival is U.S. wines, and the wine festival has really put a lot of work into this. They don't know what's going to happen politically, and I know people are really upset about this, but really this is wine, and this is one of the beauties of wine, that we can drink wines from all around the world. We don't have to worry about politics. And I would really suggest to people that you just enjoy the wine festival. And if you really, for some reason, feel strongly that you don't want to buy US wines, that's your choice. Wine festival and all the proceeds from the ticket sales and things like that goes to, and the gala they did goes towards the Art on the Beach, which is a great contributor to our arts community. If you've never been to Bard on the Beach, it's spectacular. It makes Shakespeare so easy to understand, and it's so accessible and so modern. And think of it that way, that when you go to the wine festival this year, you are supporting, it's not that you're supporting US wines, you're supporting Bard on the Beach, which is the charity that the proceeds go to. And there's a lot of hard work into this. It's wine is a positive message. It's for pleasure, and it's kind of nice to step away from the everyday concerns. I know these are serious issues, but as wine drinkers, I think we just want to keep the idea of wine drinking, which is that I drink with everyone. I drink with every nationality. And once you start closing, as long as people are nice and friendly and polite, you actually learn more about people. And the more that we open ourselves to new ideas and new concepts without judgment, I think that's really going to help you also with your assessment of wines. Wine drinking is really about opening yourselves to ideas, not having ideas, but also accepting other people's ideas. So at this point in the wine festival, you would have gone through probably somewhere between 10 to 15 wines. And again, it's very important to kind of break up your night. This is not like trick-or-treating and Halloween where you try and grab as many candies as you can. This is about pacing yourself. So it's about breaking up your palate to make sure that you can have a little break. And so at this point, I would suggest a break. And how you get a break is do something a little bit fresh. So there's two ideas here. One is that they have set up some wine bars. And I don't know where they are located exactly, probably in the middle of the room, where you can just taste a variety of things. So they have a couple. They have one that's called Put Sparkle in Your Life. They have one that's called West Coast Chardonnay, and they have one Wines for a Better Planet. So it's kind of more thematic, but you can taste some wines and get a little break. So what I would suggest here is either going to Put Some Sparkle in Your Life, which is a lot of sparkling wine, the sparkling wine will get a little acidity, will kind of liven up your taste buds a bit, or to go to the Chardonnay bar, to try some Chardonnay, and then just to kind of lighten up your taste buds, try something different. The second idea is that there's also some great sake producers, and these are booths number 121 to 125. I don't know a lot about sake. I did do a video, I think, on it a while back, and I might try and put that at the end of this video. But that's a nice place to learn. Sake is also, of course, is made from rice, and so it's a little bit more, it's going to be a bit of a palate cleanser. It's a little bit different taste. And so I would suggest kind of going over there and just kind of taking 15 or 20 minutes, try a couple extra wines just to kind of break up the night. You're not just going from place to place. And as you know, the wine festival is actually pretty crowded, and it's kind of nice to just take yourself away from the crowd for 10 or 15 minutes. A little bit quieter place, that's going to be the sake place or the bar, the wine bars. Just a little break from the action, or get a little food, get a little bit of water, get a bathroom break. Just a little break, because it's quite noisy. There's a lot of people around you. It's kind of, again, very disorienting, especially if you're there for the first time. Okay, so once you've taken that break, I would then go back, and then I would start again where we left off. Maybe you could do this winery before you take a break, because it's very close by the other ones. This is booth number 38. It's Talbot Vineyards out of Monterey County. Again, very interesting winery, but I don't know a lot about that we don't get normally in BC, so I would spend a little time there. They have some Sleepy Hollow, both their Chardonnay and their Pinot Noir are excellent, very highly rated wines. They also, their Cali Heart, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. So don't know a lot about the winery, but I'd love to learn a lot more about it. I would actually go to certain areas, and each person has their own interests. For instance, for me, if my viewers and subscribers know, I have certain areas of preferred drinking over the next 2 years. One of them is Argentinian Malbec. So there is at booth number 51 and 52 some nice Malbecs from Bodega Argento and Bodega Celentin. And so I might try one or two of those. And then the from about 60 to about booth 81, those are BC wineries. I also mentioned booth 60 is a Brazilian winery, so I might go and check that out, because I've never had Brazilian wine, and I was going to go to Brazil last year, so might check that out. These are just special interest, things that kind of catch your attention. BC wineries, there's a couple that would catch my attention. I'm not going to go through each individual wine, but what I might do is, if I go to the wine festival and I see some of these wineries that, some wines that I really like, I might highlight them in some shorts later on this week as I am tasting. So booth 63 is Blue Grouse Estate Winery. I'm really high on this winery out of the Cowichan Valley, and their new winemaker, Stacy Horneman, is there, and she is the Vine Star. She'll be at the booth, so I'm really interested. She just took over the reins as winemaker, I think, a year ago, so I'm interested to see what she's doing with the Chardonnays and the Pinot Noirs. There's a couple of wineries that I'd like to, that I've tasted in the past, but haven't really tasted a lot recently, so I'd like to go back to them, see how they're doing and how their wines are progressing. That's 71 La Friends Estate Winery of the Naramata branch. Lakeside Vineyards, I really enjoyed some of their white wines in the past. I see they're not pouring the Pinot Blanc that I was really high on, but I might go and visit them to see what they're up to. And Poplar Grove is a really established winery many years ago, but I haven't tasted them recently, so I might go back to them. That's booth 76. And then booth 73 is Moraine Estate Winery out of Naramata branch. I did a review of one of their wines. I think it was the Viognier. I was really impressed with that wine, so I might go back and taste some of their other wines. Again, it's just a matter of kind of picking out things that you're interested in. The other one is booth number 81, which is Unsworth Vineyard, out of the Cowichan Valley. I think the Cowichan Valley's got a lot of potential, particularly for Pinot, like Pinot Noir grapes and Pinot Gris, Chardonnay, that type of grape type. I think there's a lot of potential there. So they're very close by Blue Grouse. So I think there's something there with these wineries. So I want to taste them again and kind of get a little bit more feel for these wines. Then I would hop over to booth number 105, which is Faudi de San Gregorio. I'm going to be at their wine dinner, and this is a really exciting winery. Not really that expensive, but for the wines they make, they're out of the Campania region in southern Italy, and they make really interesting wines with grape varietals that are very prototypical Italian. So they've got probably two of the best white wine type of grape varietals to roll from, Greco Tofu and also Fiano. They've got a Fiano de Avellino. And then they've got a great red wine made from Aglianico, which is a kind of a very, they call it the Barolo of the South. For the price, they make spectacular wines, and these are so Italian in terms of their grape varietals, and very ageable noteworthy wines. So my viewers and subscribers know that I'm still drinking Barolo, so I'd like to kind of taste some wines at booth number 108, which is Marziano Arbono. They have a 2016 Barolo Presenta. Then I would go back to the top of the scale, which there's some great US producers, which I would finish off the night with before I go to some dessert wines. So booth number 5 is Bulow Vineyard, and again, their table is like really stacked with great wines. Love all their wines. So they've got some really excellent wines. They've got their 2018 Reserve Tapestry. Then they've got their 2009 Napa Cabernet Sauvignon. Then they've got 2 of the Rutherford wines. They've got their regular Napa Rutherford wine from 2015, and then they've got the Reserve Rutherford from 2019. So although it's all Cabernet Sauvignon, first of all, it's all good quality wine. Secondly, it gives you within Cabernet Sauvignon a great variety. You've got the Napa, you've got Rutherford, you've got 2 different vintages of Rutherford Cabernet Sauvignon, and then you've got also the Reserve and the regular. So you've got to compare and contrast. I love that ability. The next winery I would go to is Booker Wines, which I have a video on, which I'll put at the end of this video. I've learned so much about the wines, and tasting them, I'm a big fan now. They've got great entry-level wines in Harvey and Harriet, both the white and red blend. Then they've got a kind of mid-level, which is their My Favorite Neighbor Chardonnay. And then finally, they've got their Booker Pearl, which is Syrah Grenache mix, which I really think is exceptional. So go taste that for sure. And then we've got the Charles Krug booth on booth number 11, which is serving a lot of Charles Krug wines. Charles Krug is a name that is, I think, it's an old established name, but I think doesn't get the respect that it should. It's a great winery, and people have just forgotten how an established winery like that can still make great wines. So they've got, again, a great variety. They've got their Sauvignon Blanc 2023, then the Chardonnay 2023, and then they've got their Cabernet Sauvignon 2003, and then a blend, the Generation 2019, and then their Merlot 2022. So again, love the idea that they have, first of all, served some really good quality wines. Secondly, great variety, red, white, and blends, and different vintages, different grape varietals. And then I would end the night with some dessert wines or sweet wines. For the dessert wines, I would recommend 2 titles. This one you have to jump around a little bit. One is number 97, which is Van Tokay table. And I don't know a lot about Hungarian wines, but that's why I would go there. I'm not even going to try to pronounce all these names, but a lot of them are Tokajis, and they're sweet wines. Some of them are late harvest. So you'll learn a lot about that, but also you'll get to taste a lot of neat grape types like Ferment, and great affordable replacement to Sauternes. So people don't, if some people don't like the sweetness of ice wine and they don't want to really pay the high price of Sauterne, this might be a nice kind of balance. Then table number 116 is the Symington family of wines. I'm going to Portugal, so I'm very interested in this table. They've got 2 grams wines. They've got their white port blend, and then they've got their Reserve 6 grapes. Then they've got Wares has got a Tawny, Dow has got a Quinta de Bonfirm 2013, and then Prats and Symington also has a 2016. I think it's a vintage. But again, nice way to end off the night. So all in all, you know, if you kind of go through this, and again, send me an email at trophywinehunter@gmail.com. I'll send you the whole list and explain it to you. You're tasting all in all between 30 and 40 wines, which is really not a lot. Now people say, like, Trophy, I can taste way more. Well, my list covers a lot more wines that are more optional wines, and I probably list out about 80 wines, so that'll be plenty for you to drink if you want to actually go through my whole list. Just going in there and just like, oh, I don't know what's happening, you'll actually waste a lot of time and actually won't get the most of your night, and you'll end up just lost. And that's what most people find in the first time there. You really need a plan. It's just like going to a liquor store. If you don't plan and you don't actually do some research, and you just randomly go to a liquor store and pick up any wine, your chances of having a good experience is going to be lower than as compared to if you have done some research, maybe looked at some of my previous videos about wine recommendations. Hopefully I make good recommendations, and that will hopefully increase your chances of having a good bottle of wine. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope to see some of you at the wine festival tastings or some of the events. I will be at an event on Wednesday night when this video comes out. I'll probably be at the event at the Fuidi de San Gregorio dinner at Chin Chin. I will be at the tasting on Thursday night, the international tastings. I will be at one seminar, I think, in the afternoon. I might show up at the trade tasting, and then Friday night I'm with a large group at the tastings. And then Saturday I have a dinner with viewers and subscribers. If you would like to join that dinner, where you bring your own bottle of wine and we kind of share some wine, please again reach out to me at trophywinehunter@gmail.com. So again, thanks again for watching, and continuing to support my channel. My viewers and subscribers give me so much positive feedback, and you know, they're really good about encouraging me, so I really do appreciate that. Until next time, happy drinking.